We've all heard that the budget needed to raise billions, and we've probably all seen the headlines since the budget came out. But what does the budget mean for us here in Yorkshire? And what does it mean if you want to sell your home in 2026? Let's start with the big and obvious stuff. Stamp duty remains unchanged, which sounds like a great thing, but what they're not doing is they're not moving it in line with property values going up, which means more houses, as their property values increase, will sit into higher rate stamp duty tax bands. So we've got the mansion tax. This is aimed at properties over £2 million and will range from somewhere between £2,500 and £7,500 a year. Now, it's not due to come in till April 2028, but the valuations may be taken from 2026. So if your property does sit over the £2 million mark, now's a really good time to speak to us about looking at whether you should sell or whether you should hold. Income tax bands are going to be frozen till 2031. And this is something called fiscal drag. It actually means that you will end up paying more tax, even if your wages don't go up that much. So it's a little bit of a hidden tax. ISA contributions have changed. It used to be £20,000 per annum you could put into cash or stocks and shares ISA. And the amount that you can put into your cash ISA is reduced if you're under 65 to £12,000. But you can top that up with £8,000 in your stocks and shares ISA to the £20,000 allowance that was there before. Now that's the headlines, but let's talk about some of the less publicised stuff, like the fact that the hospitality business rate relief is ending. And what that means is that local pubs, local shops will be paying more, and that means they will struggle. So if you have a good pub, go and support it and make sure that that pub is kept as an asset for your local area, because buyers do look at things like that when they're moving into the area, and it will affect the value of your home. Landlord tax reforms, which are due to come in from April 2027. Now these will just mean that landlords are taxed more heavily, meaning that a lot of them may exit the market, and in likelihood, tenants will end up paying for this because rents will simply just go up. From 2029, the salary sacrifice is going to be reduced to £2,000, meaning anything that you put into your pension above this is subject to NI. The government's also making changes to interest on savings. What does this mean for the property market? It means fewer people having large cash deposits, which can affect demand and affordability, particularly in the first-time buyer and upsizing market. So we hear a lot about the cost of living. How does the budget affect this in Yorkshire? The budget plans to reduce everyone's energy bills by £150 by making some changes to levies in the market. We've talked about pension changes, saving changes, income tax changes. These will all have a relatively negative, although small, but negative effect in the market for cost of living. There's the reintroduction of the winter fuel allowance, which is given out to households with less than £35,000 income. From April 2026, families will be eligible to receive support for all of their children and not just the first two. And what this means for the housing market is increased affordability in larger families and therefore a higher demand in mid-market properties.
So overall, households in Yorkshire are still going to feel the squeeze.
So, is it a good time to sell? Well, absolutely yes. My advice if you're looking to sell would be to look to get your home into the market before the rush to market starts in February. So get in contact with Preston Baker and get one of our representatives to come out and see you as soon as you can to talk about what they can do in order to get you ready for sale in the early part of 2026.